Tim Pool, who I think is about as knowledgeable in the conservative commentary space as anyone, posted what I think is one of the most honest, most candid summaries of what is happening in political media right now. Right now, guys, views are down, people are not watching, and it is making people like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson do crazy, crazy things. Here is the full unedited clip of what Tim says.
There's a lot of conversations that are happening behind the scenes with prominent personalities in the independent media space, libertarian, conservative, etc. And I spare drawing people into drama. That's why I'm not going to call anybody out. But I've been talking to a lot of people, and I've mentioned this over the past week or so. Everybody knows that views right now in politics are in the gutter.
Okay.
Candace is doing very, very well, though.
Right.
And I think, look, if you want to get my professional marketing assessment of this, you take a look at some of these prominent personalities, and I don't want to denigrate, so I'm not going to name them, but guys, I'm telling you this right now. Go on YouTube, pull up whatever conservative personalities that you've heard of, and look at their view count, and you'll see they've dropped dramatically. You'll also see Candace is doing pretty dang well. The conversation behind the scenes, everyone knows why. It's exactly as you've described. If people always need the next level, we've talked about this in the past about how they call Trump Hitler. It starts with saying, Trump is bad. Then Trump is racist. Then Trump is very racist. Then he's the most racist. Then he's almost as bad as Hitler. Then he's as bad as Hitler. Then he's worse than Hitler. Because if they write the same article, Trump is racist, nobody clicks it. So they got to give you it's the hit's got to get bigger. You don't feel it anymore. Behind the scenes, everybody is pissed off because they're like, I wish I was as evil as some of these people where I can just lie to get the views. But if you make a video where you're like, Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns, here are my thoughts. Everyone knows. Bro, everyone knows Marjorie Taylor Greene's resigning. So why are they going to watch you over anybody else? As more people enter the space, and we're at the back end of a political year, which was this year is ending, and it was a non-political year. Views are going to be in the gutter, revenue is going to be down, and people are going to be feeling it. You got two choices: stay true, dance with the ebb and the flow. Next year's midterms, views will start increasing for political content. You got three choices: pivot and try and do non-political stuff, cultural stuff that may be of general interest. I think we've tried doing that quite a bit throughout the past several years, knowing this cycle. So that's why some of our videos, like Solar Storm videos, like 200,000 views. But we've always had those guests on. Your third option: roll with it, baby. France wants to kill me. There's an Israeli in it. The White House knows. I'm fleeing, and then.
He is absolutely correct. And in my 1/100th of a size experience, I am seeing this. There are cycles to this. You may see a political content creator go out there, get 10,000 new subscribers in a year. But what you're not seeing is that 6 months out of that year, they're not getting any of it. They're getting literally zero. And then 6 months, they're getting 10,000 subscribers. They're getting all of it. And that's not what you're seeing because, again, these things ebb and flow. Pew Research has confirmed this, by the way. What you're seeing right now, you can see U.S. adults are less likely to follow the news closely than they were in 2016 by a massive margin. In 2016, it was 51% that followed this closely. Now it is 36%, which is really low. And if you look at that across age groups, it is consistent. The younger you are, the less you care about the news. That's just how it is. People who are 65 plus are fairly still interested. They've lost 13% interest. But if you're 18 to 29, which is my age group, you've gone from 27% who follow the news to 15%, which is essentially nobody at all. And it's hard. As Tim Pool said, you've got a few choices with all of this. You can be true and you can just weather the storm and do your best, or you can do what Candace Owens does. And it's not a secret to anybody in this space why her and Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes do so well, because they do well. You hear this from them all the time. You hear it from their supporters. Oh, they must be telling the truth. They must be on top because they're getting so many views. Their political opinions are correct. That is not true. They thrive in the offseason because they make up the news. They don't wait for the news to happen. They fabricate it because there is no news right now. That is why people like Nick Fuentes, for example, are so popular. Do you think that Nick Fuentes is the guy that you go to hear about midterm news, for example? Of course not. That's the point that Tim Pool is making. In the offseason, that's when they thrive. In the on-season, you listen to Ben Shapiro, you go to Tim Pool, this channel to a smaller degree, you go for actual news. But when there is no actual news, where do you go to? You go to the people who are being dishonest, who fabricate it. When that isn't happening, when there's no news, the conspiracy theorists win. If you don't believe me, here is a clip from Candace's show just this week claiming that Turning Point USA murdered Charlie Kirk, and she's been having dreams about it, so it must be true.
I've been telling you guys, I have been having a lot of dreams, and the dread that Charlie felt in 2018, I have been feeling. I felt it leading up to Charlie's assassination. I pulled my children out of school. I was having this dreams and visions about bees and organization that was happening in America. I have a sense of dread that a lot of these events that are happening, these inexplicable events like the Malibu fires, these sort of coastal events, the Texas floods, that this is not happening by accident, okay? I have a feeling of a sense of dread that the Fed is taking from Americans right now, and that we are heading toward war.
That is not political commentary. That's just making things up for views. Candace Owens is a false prophet. She has all the makings of a false prophet. She does this for a living. She has made millions at this point off of it. And hey, she's getting the views. Like, she's very popular, very rich. She's just sold all of her integrity to get there. Fortunately, there are a few who have the integrity to call it out. I want to call those people out for the good things they're doing. Today, I'm highlighting Tim Pool. He posted this today. He said, in the sociopath influencer world, there's no amount of money that will never be worth it. That is Candace Owens' world. Publishing texts out of context posts and attempting to eviscerate Charlie's legacy seem to be worth every penny to Candace. Perfectly said. That's what she does. Here's a tweet Candace Owens put out just this week. She said, I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. She said that 80 times. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA. By the way, who's the CEO? Erica Kirk. So that's interesting. She says, and some of the very people who eulogized him on the stage. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. She didn't. And I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were lied to, and leadership knew. So at this point, she wants to completely take down the most conservative and most, frankly, successful conservative organization of the century. The organization, I really don't think Donald Trump would have gotten elected without Turning Point USA. I really believe that. It has done so much for the conservative movement. Candace Owens just went on, said she had evidence, said the leadership literally assassinated the leader of their organization, had none of the evidence, and wants to destroy it. She is calling on people to rescind their donations. And after that, it's just become a stereotype at this point. This is just another Tuesday, by the way. Like, you're reading that tweet. If you don't follow Candace Owens, good for you. That's a good thing. But if you see that and you think, wow, that's crazy that she would say something like that, she says these things every single day. It has become such a stereotype at this point. It is very easy to replicate. Tim Pool tweeted this out. In response, he said, I received information this morning that put the final pieces together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by Candace Owens and some of the very people who claimed to be his friend. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. And I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this organization to say, thank you. You were lied to, and Candace knew. It's that easy, guys. It's that easy. And Candace fans saw this tweet, by the way, and said, oh, you're full of crap. You're being disingenuous. Exactly. That is what Candace Owens has done every single day. Good on Tim Pool for finally calling it out. Tax season is right around the corner. I know it sucks, but fortunately I partnered with Quick Tax America, who makes it very, very easy. In honor of the 150th anniversary of our country, they're doing all federal tax returns for only $76. $17.76, $76. That's right. They do all the work for you. You don't have to. All you have to do is fill out a 15-minute questionnaire and hop on a 15-minute call with a tax professional, and they do all the rest of the work for you. Last year, they got the average return $3,000 back. And again, they did all the work for you. So $76, you actually make over $2,000 when you go with Quick Tax America. Go check them out right now once you get those tax documents. The link is in the description below.